Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a teacher of Irish history. I have two programs. One is the history of Ireland from beginning to today, starting literally 1 billion to 2 billion years ago up to today. My second program is the history of each of Ireland's 32 counties. In February, I will be presenting a course on the history of Dublin city and county. What I'm going to give you here now is a short introduction to that presentation to give you an idea of the areas that I will be covering. In general, I will cover everything from the archaeological history right up to basically the beginning of the 20th century. So without further ado, I will. So this is my title. It's the history of Cúnta agus Baile an Clia, which literally means the history of the city and county of Dublin. My name is Sean Murphy. I can be contacted through either my email address there or through my website, irishhistory.online. So now I get into explaining to you a little bit about the course. So let's go back to the beginning, ancient Dublin. There's archaeological evidence that shows the Dublin area was inhabited from at least 7,500 years ago, although it's quite likely there were people there before that, but we can only speculate. We're talking here about actual evidence. Then the evidence of the arrival of farmers in the area is testified to, as it is around the country, by the presence of burial cairns, stone tombs, etc., which you will find in the Dublin Mountains and in various other parts of the county. There's also evidence of human activity and habitation from the Bronze, Copper, and Iron Age, and that's relatively plentiful. We also have ancient chronicles, and I'll be dealing with that in the main course. And one of the things that's there is a reference to a division, an ancient division of Ireland, which stretched along a line from Dublin to Galway along the Escar Riada, which essentially was a road that was created as the Ice Age ended, because underneath the ice, the way it melted, it kind of brought a lot of rocks and stones into heaps, and that created an ancient road, if you liked, that crisscrossed Ireland. Now, when the historic period began, and we're more sure of our facts from the 5th century, at that stage, Dublin was a thriving community of fishermen and farmers. The corn market and high street have yielded up some of their old secrets. There were two settlements. One was called Clia, was 4 hurdles, and then Dublin, which translates as Black Pool, and they were close together. Then at the end of the 8th century, Vikings arrived. They raided Lambay Island. And during the Viking Age, which went from around 800 for about 250 years, Dublin was their kingdom, and it became a major slave trading centre in Europe. The Vikings ruled Dublin for 3 centuries until overthrown by the incoming Normans in the year 1171. So Dublin has always been, up to partial independence in the early 1920s, it was the centre of English power from the arrival of the Normans in 1169 until they handed over the keys of Dublin Castle to Michael Collins in 1922. The Normans established an Irish Parliament in 1297, and that lasted till 1800 when it was dissolved, and all those elected in Ireland then had to go to London. Now, many Welsh and English people arrived and accompanied the incoming invaders or soldiers who were coming in as mercenary soldiers. They occupied the city. Over time, then, Irish people ended up outside of the city. So outside of the city walls were the Liberties and Irish Town, where the Irish who had been expelled from the city lived. Now, Dublin was transformed, as the whole country was, by the events of the 16th and 17th centuries. Protestants became a majority of the population of Dublin in the 1640s due to the arrival of huge numbers of them from the north of Ireland when the rebellion of 1640 and 1641 happened. After the Williamite Revolution or rebellion in the 1680s, a Protestant Parliament ruled Ireland from then until it was dissolved in 1800. The United Irishmen had planned to take Dublin in 1798, similar to what had been planned way back in 1641. There were rebellions in 1803, 1848, and 1867, and some of these were based in Dublin. Some of them had activities going on in Dublin. The main one was 1916, and this was again part of Ireland's road to independence. So in 1916, the Irish volunteers shocked Britain and the world by carrying out an insurrection in Dublin. Although the rising was unsuccessful, it did propel Ireland on the path to greater independence. Now, unfortunately, due to a combination of British policy, unionist intransigence, and internal divisions in Ireland, Ireland was partitioned by an act of the United Kingdom government. Then, following disagreements over a treaty with Britain, the Irish forces split into those who were in agreement to accept the treaty and those who were opposed to it. What followed then was the takeover of the four courts in Dublin, which was an event that essentially kickstarted the Irish Civil War. So that was just a quick run through. Obviously, there's a lot of detail that's available on the course. So again, they start in February. You can register by sending an email, or you can go and register on irishhistory.online. So the courses then are on February the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. And so the first one is the history of County Dublin, which I've talked about here. The other course that's happening is on the Norman conquest or invasion of Ireland. All presentations are live on Zoom. The courses are also available by recordings for those who cannot attend on Thursdays. And if you register to get the recordings, you get all the materials that everybody else gets. Each 4-week course registration fee is $100. So I hope that helps to give you a sense of what I will be covering. And if you have any questions, leave a message or contact me through the comment column or through the ways I've given you here. So thank you for sharing this time with me, and hope you will have an interest in County Dublin.